Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is Travis with Poised RC. Welcome back to my dirty bench. And this is our CJ7. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things that I didn't realize I still had, but I'm certainly glad that I do. I did some organizing around the shop and I found some stuff, realized I had some other stuff, so now today we're going to put those things together. So here in the shop for the last couple days, we've been kind of organizing everything and getting everything it's been chaos. I'm not gonna lie, it's been absolutely chaos in here. There have been parts strung out over here, strung out over there, crap all over the floor, crap all over the work area, and I was just super tired of it. So we're all cleaned up now. Well, what I'm getting at is I've been organizing things and I realized I had some stuff. And today we're talking about the CJ7. So I'm going to show you real quick here what I'm kind of talking about. When I first got this thing, I immediately changed everything to include putting in a VRD carbon VFD trans, doing that conversion there, Vidavon front axle housings and rear, some deluxe shocks. So I realized I had a whole entire box full of stuff that I took out of this. And the other day I was organizing, I cleaned and I found some things and realized I had essentially a complete set of set of straight axles. And the reason I was confused about that to begin with was because I had initially put the stock axle shafts into these Vidavon housings so that I could run heavy brass knuckles. I couldn't do that with the Vidavon axle housing or axle shafts. Well, shortly after putting the stock ones in here, I saw a video about some double U-joint isokinetic 10-3 axle shafts. So I put them in here, and now the steering is, super, no matter how sharp it's steered, it turns super duper smooth, and that's pretty amazing. Well, I had not realized that I took the stock shafts out and just threw them in one of my parts boxes. So I found those axle shafts, realized I still had the axle housings, so I found that parts box, and lo and behold, in that parts box, I had also ordered upgraded parts for those axles. So here's our 10-3 AR45 straights. The rears are just exactly the way I left them. I didn't do anything with the rears, so they're doing just fine. But the fronts are missing the shafts, but we do have these SSD aluminum C-hubs, which are, pretty friggin' nice. I realized I had some AR45 SSD knuckles, an AR45 SSD diff cover, and then when I was going through my parts box over here that you can't see, I found those front shafts. So today we're just going to put all this together and hopefully y'all stay for the ride. Now this is all really rudimentary, super simple stuff. I'm just putting axle shafts in, installing some knuckles. But I did have to make sure I had all the parts, like the bearings. Luckily, in my, 2009 was when I started doing this, so that's what, 16 years? In my 16 years of collecting parts and never throwing anything away, luckily, I had 2 spares of each of the bearings that I needed in which to put in the knuckles. Still had the hardware. So let's get to putting this stuff together. Just gonna get everything opened up. Got the hardware for that unit right there. Knuckles, that out. That bearing in. Push that bearing in. Cool. Those are for the steering shafts. Those. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, you can do it one of two ways. You can go ahead and put the axle shaft in first, or you can put it into the knuckle first, and then slide it in. It's kind of up to you. I'm just going to do it this way. So these come with, so that's 2.0, 2.5. These come with a brass bushing. If you can see, just a little brass bushing and a screw instead of a shoulder bolt. So we're going to put that brass bushing over the bolt, put it in the knuckle. Snug it up, turn it over, grab one more of each, brass bushing on the screw. And there we have one side complete, ready to go. Really that simple. Grab the long one here, long side. Do that 2 more times. Would help if I had a screw on there, huh? Now, since these are aluminum knuckles or C-hubs, you could Loctite these in, because knuckle bolts do have a tendency to want to back themselves out because they're constantly turning. And I definitely put this knuckle on upside down, so that's cool. Thanks for letting me know, chat. Appreciate you. We'll go ahead and flip this unit on over and pretend like that didn't happen. We're going to put that bolt right back in there. Alright, now we have our knuckles all installed. Steering is smooth, there's no binding. It turns nice and easy, so that's good. Next up, we're going to put in our brass diff cover, and we're going to call this front axle pretty much done, because with the exception of steering linkages, this axle is ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our 4 bolts back here that hold this bad boy, the plastic one, on. We're going to remove those. Go. I'm going to leave those 4 bolts with that diff cover, and I'm going to use the 4 that were included with the new one. While we're in here, we're going to go ahead and check for grease. There is grease in here, so that's a really good sign. I like seeing that. I don't know if these are standard gears or if they are overdrive. I doubt they're overdrive gears, but we're just going to assume that they were stock gears and just put it all back together and run it that way for now. Insert our 4 bolts. Now this housing is made of plastic, so you don't have to like super tighten these down. The compression of when you tighten this down, you're compressing the plastic. That compression is constantly wanting to rebound, so that's going to hold your bolts plenty tight without over tightening. Alright. Got a short screw, long screw for our knuckles. So these are my two like tool / parts boxes that I have. Just a tackle box from way back in the day. This was the very first one I ever had. If anyone knows who Grip Fab was and knows what this sticker is, let me know about it down below. This should tell you how long I've had this box. But we've got silver M3s, black M3s, random type hardware like core screws, tiny screws, turnbuckles, wheel hardware. Got 3 different bins of rod ends, assorted Allen wrenches and bind plugs, and this is all old random stuff. These quarter elliptical leaf springs are from one of my very first builds ever. It's a TJ. If you go way back in my YouTube, you can find videos of the Jeep TJ that these were installed on. I still have them. I've had this stuff forever, but I'll never let it go. Some Dremel attachments, a lot of worn out grinding wheels, got spacer stuff, nut type things, M3, M4, some M5, wheel nuts, stuff like that. Then inside is some parts, but also some hardware. Got grease, mostly tools. Those are normally kept in here, and that's this box. Next one I found years later, but it's exactly like that one, but red. But I use this one mainly for like parts and stuff. I got S8E shocks out the freaking wazoo, servo horns, drive shafts, gears. Back when I used to run touring car shocks on my crawlers, I would just take them straight to the frame and run them at a pretty aggressive angle. That way I would get a decent amount of wheel travel with only half an inch of shock travel. Good for scale trucks. Got some brake weights, things like that. Unbuilt S8E 80s. I believe these are 80s. These are 90s. I think these are 80s. I'm not entirely sure. And then inside is like more parts. This is like wheel hubs. And this is where I found those axle shafts for what we just did over here. Random electronics crap. Just stuff I'm never ever gonna use. Got some wheel rings, spacers, TJH FMM chilling. Bunch of the unused stuff from some kits that I acquired through some trades. Some unused parts. Some unused yet. My buddy Dave gave me this probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I'm gonna use it, man, I promise. Got these K-Pec pedals from Nationals. Might put those in the buggy soon, not sure. Let me know if you want to see that on a video, putting that in. But yeah, these are my 2 toolboxes. It's where I keep most of my parts, spare parts, tools, things like that. So if I go out crawling, I usually, especially if I'm gonna go far, I'll bring this stuff with me. So if I break my truck, I will usually have parts to fix it in either one of these 2 things. So that's kind of the benefit of just not throwing anything away. Years of collecting springs for mini T's and other stuff. Just all kinds of crap. Don't throw nothing away. Anyways, this is my toolbox setup. I honestly forgot I even had these. But now I'm glad that I do have them, because I can use them on a potentially another build if I do choose to do so in the near future. Time to get this cleaned up. We get the junk put away, and we'll see you next time on my dirty bench. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Stay porous.